Ladies and gentlemen of the RNG Revolution, welcome to this week's episode of the RngCAst. I, as always, am Buster Knuckle. Joining us today are...
It's your boy Raven.
Danfinity.
Biz isn't here today, so Dan graciously stepped in for his monthly visit.
Hi. It's that time of the month, folks.
It's that time of the month for Dan. We've had a pretty information-packed week. Bungie did another reveal stream, and it was, I guess, what was it, short and sweet and to the point, I guess would be the best way to put it. It covered the weekly rituals, which I, for one, am super stoked about. So we're going to talk about the week at Bungie, this week at Bungie that just dropped, and the reveal stream for a little bit. And they did the weekly ritual. So what they told us was the Age of Triumph is going to have a quest line that starts with the speaker. Which I think is pretty cool because the speaker usually doesn't give a shit until, beginning of the story he did, but now it's just, he's just a dude who sells shit every once in a blue. True or false? Let's be real.
Actually, legitimately, I was surprised when the Age of Triumph teasers actually had the speaker voice acting again, and I'm just like, wait, what? It's been like 2.5 years since we heard from this guy.
That motherfucker has a voice?
I know, right? Oh yeah, he does have that line, that annoying line.
I like him though. It's always cool to have the speaker talk to you. You're like, you're the closest thing that we have to the Traveler. Why do you not talk more often?
Mr. Oh, I could tell you the stories, but I won't.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you want this tier 12 hunter cloak?
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right? Legitimately, Cloudwalker tribute, tier 12.
The director will feature a new set of weekly featured activities, which is going to be Prison of Elders, a raid, the story, and the crucible, and obviously Nightfall. Now let's talk about the daybreak modifier, which I think we called. It's going to be the mayhem modifier that's going to happen.
Literally mayhem modifier.
Yeah,
and it's going to happen once a month for the Nightfall. So
Yes.
It's not going to be overkill. It's just going to happen once a month. It's super fun. Now about that Nightfall. They're bringing back the Blue Flames and the XP boost, which I was super stoked for. When they came out and I saw the fire, I went, fuck yes!
I know, right?
And my girlfriend looked at me and she's like, what the fuck is the matter with you? We're in the grocery store, Michael. And I'm
Blue
like,
Flames.
yeah. I'm like, hey, by the way, name drop. My name's Michael. Don't care.
take a drink.
I don't care anymore. Me as Buster. And they released what was it called? Treasures of the Triumph?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like
Which
that.
amazingly, you'll be getting 3 of those a week
Yeah.
at a minimum. No telling how many of those will cross, but it's what? Is it strike completion?
Strike complete.
Like a heroic strike, maybe?
The heroic strike.
I forget one of them, but I know it's the weekly story, like your first weekly story completion, the weekly crucible completion.
Prison
I'm
Elders.
forgetting that third one now.
Prison of Elders.
Possibly. I don't know. But
Maybe.
Okay, Treasures of Ages once per week, rewarded upon first activity completion, and damn it. That's all the information I can find on the TWAB at this moment.
But yeah, either way, they listed 3 sources that you'll be able to earn these new treasure boxes from, which they haven't done in a while now, actually.
And they contain everything that every box has ever contained that allows you to get to it. Which
So
is
save your money.
Hopefully with a loot table that's heavily weighed towards not getting the crap you already have. Hopefully.
True.
Or else there's going to be a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Well, smart loot is still a thing, so...
They also boosted the silver dust economy, though, as well. Like, actually making it something worthwhile to collect.
Yeah, and legitimately, I'm actually surprised that within that loot table, I don't know if many people noticed, was actually the Ghost Rider mask from last year's Festival of the Lost, which I was actually surprised is making a reappearance, because that was one of those items that was kind of like, well, you didn't get it last year? Too bad.
Also, in there, where Deej really went fast over them, it was the new ornaments.
Necrochasm coming back.
Necrochasm.
Vex.
And
No Land was one.
Yeah, No Land had one.
I know. Okay, whatever. Suros.
Yeah, Suros has another one.
I mean, another one. Suros hasn't had one.
No, Suros doesn't have one. You're right. It's just the black and red one.
Because we've always said Suros was like an easy ornament to do, because all they had to do was go back to the original palette.
But it might. I don't think that's what's going to happen. Honestly, I think it's going to be.
No, I don't. It sounds weird for it to be it doesn't sound like it's hinting towards the original color palette.
Yeah, the name was, hold on, for the Touch of Malice, there's one named the Settled Score. The Dragon's Breath is getting one called Tiger Shark, which is probably just going to be another bomber design, which I'm okay with 100%.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Lord of Wolves, Perfected Predator, Siva. And the Surge Regime, Basilisk's Glory. I don't think they ever mentioned Basilisk in the lore of Destiny.
That would fit. That would fit with like Gorgons and such.
Maybe it would
very
be
curious.
Like the No Land Beyond ornament is Undiscovered Country. The Necrochasm is called the Devourer of Moons, and the Vex Mytho class is the Chrono Shot, which is super dope. Super, super awesome. And I'm, as everybody knows, I am super shilly about ornaments, so I'm all for more stuff. And
the one for the No Land Beyond actually makes you look like Mel Gibson from the movie Patriot.
Maybe that actually might.
The musket.
I mean, the thing's already a fucking musket anyway, so might as well. And we got, what else? I'm trying to remember everything, because I don't take notes anymore, because Des got on me about taking notes. Oh, the Crucible, Lord Shaxx now has 2.
No, we'll have 2
weekly bounties
instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna they're trimming down the directory for Crucible.
I didn't look into that. I heard about it, but I didn't actually look into anything.
The verbiage is each week we'll offer 5 core playlists in the center row, 1 rotating playlist in the top rotator, and private matches will also obviously be given. Rise of Iron will find their offering each week in the top rotator, which will feature Zone Control, Combined Arms, Mayhem Clash, Mayhem Rumble, or doubles, and Elimination is also available every week and is replaced by Trials of Osiris. What else? Lord Shaxx will have 2 for 6s, 2 weeklies, which is cool. This one, a lot of people glanced over. The Crucible Quartermaster, which is the robot, will offer 5 new bounties each week for different weapon archetypes.
Oh, so they're bringing that back,
allowing you the opportunity to earn a variety of Crucible, Iron Banner, and Trials of Osiris weapons from year 2 and 3. And yes, there is a hand cannon bounty that can reward an IS Luna.
Now, the one thing that's confusing me about this is that they've taken the year 2 Iron Banner weapons, which also some news actually finished Bird Rock, which is now pinned to my Twitter.
Yes.
Those part of the RNG Discord is pinned in our channel RNG. It is done. I am not touching it again until, of course, the Age of Triumph update, and when I'll have to double check numbers and such in case they tweak any of the old weapons that get brought up or add anything. Who knows? But yeah, the one thing that actually has aggravated me is the fact that the year 2 Iron Banner weapons are completely gone from the database. It's like their stats are all screwed up in every database I've seen.
Really?
So I have not been able to double check their numbers. So that's curious that they would say that, because so far, I mean, just according to what's in Bungie's database, they kind of don't exist.
Well, you're going to be able to get them. And the hand cannon can reward an Ias Luna. Trials of Osiris, for all you Trials of Osiris players, the bounties have also been updated, and all of them are now able to be completed daily.
Ooh.
While Trials of Osiris is active, gold and silver tier bounties will now feature gear and weapons from Year 3.
Oh, cool.
So all in all, I mean, I think this is going to be, I mean, it's obviously the last one, and Dan, you had the theory, which I am a firm believer of, that September will be Destiny 2.
Yeah, because I noticed when Dan dropped, because me and Dan had the exact same thought pattern, because as soon... The biggest piece of information that Bungie has released is what they didn't say. But it has tweaked. It's like it's sitting there, and all of a sudden they say, "Oh yeah, you know, it's going to be once a month, except for this 1 6-week stretch." And it's like, why?
They're just going to flood you with everything.
Yeah, it's like for 6 weeks we're going to have a day break a week, and why? Because they keep saying that this age of this Age of Triumph is like, you know, the celebration. It's you going out, you know. So literally, it does, because I think actually kind of it's. I actually looked at it. Crap. But that, because it would end a week before September 4th. But I'm thinking, I don't think they'll release it September 4th. I'm probably thinking they're shooting for September 11th. Because that kind of falls in line with pretty much every other major Destiny release is usually the second to third week of September. So it would fall in line, and like I said, that's 1 week. The 11th is 1 week after the end of the Daybreak.
Yeah.
Crap.
And let's be honest, watching that Daybreak strike was super fun. Another super.
It was fun.
Just hear Deej. And hammers.
Like half of that commentary was, yep, there's another tether. There's another tether.
And hammers.
How about we switch to somebody else? Oh, there's hammers. Like, okay. But yeah, I like the idea, because like they've shown, like just because you get your supers a lot, it's not really easy, because you're still taking damage.
I'm hoping they crank the difficulty up to 11 on those Daybreaks. Like, that's, if you're given, I think I said this in the Discord, it's a power fantasy within the power fantasy.
Yeah,
we're already really powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like they just have to like maybe turn on like a horde mode for like 5 seconds, and just let us plow through wave after wave.
Yeah, from their own words, the only thing they've changed is the fact that they basically just ripped off the Crucible's Mayhem formula.
They also said that we might see Rainbow Burn, which I am terrified of.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. I'm going to go with Rainbow Burn from Year 2. Makes me shiver.
Ugh.
It's like, I'm hurt, I'm dead. I'm hurt, I'm dead.
I wonder if people actually remember how many times Rainbow Burn popped up in vanilla in Year 1, because that crap came up
happened like 3 weeks in a row one
exactly.
One month, I remember.
Like, God, that was like, whew. But I tell you what, for Solar Burn, Celestial Nighthawk GG's all day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Celestial Nighthawk GG with
Let
hammer.
me tell you what. Tap. All right, give me about a minute. Oh, tap.
Oh my God. If it's fucking the Sunbreak or the my God. The Daybreaks, if it's the Daybreak modifier and you just had the Celestial Nighthawk, just dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
It's like if Solar Burn ever lines up with one of those Daybreaks, you know exactly what I'm running.
Watch that be the first week.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Like, unbridled joy the first week, and then after that, just pain.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord, if Bungie wanted at least me to start doing Nightfalls again, Flames are back though.
Yeah, Flames are back.
I mean, that's
and the
I'm Doing Nightfalls whenever the crap I can.
And the XP boost is back, which is also
Yeah, exactly.
People would be happy if it was just the flames, but now it's like the flames and the extra XP.
Exactly. The boost is back. It's like, here, just have everything. We're turning everything back on.
Oh, you guys say you're bored? You're not bored no fucking more.
Here's everything. Actually, one thing I also do appreciate, which I'm not sure, I probably said it last week, I don't know, but one thing I definitely appreciate is the fact that they're rolling out the raids or the redone, in-game stuff once a week.
Yeah.
They're not just throwing it all at you. It's like, okay, so that's like 3 weeks, at least, for everyone to get prepared and do things.
Mm-hmm.
After that, a lot of people are going to say they're bored again, but screw them.
The weekly story playlist works.
I love the fact that they made this change too.
Yeah, I got all the information just by looking down. Scroll down.
Well, I mean, it's what 5 missions. It's 5 rounds of 10 marks that you can earn, which is a net loss because, of course, if you actually do your dailies and it's 10 marks, you actually get 70. So you're actually losing out on 20, but at the same time, you get the convenience that you can just burn through those.
Just grab a couple buddies and run. 5
back to back. And another interesting thing is they actually made mention of the original Queen's Wrath event in that stream, which was, they haven't actually made mention of that since it failed.
It did fail. best, one of the best snipers in the game, though, but it failed.
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun, which was really sad that it just didn't work out because it was just highly farmable. But yeah, and like they said, they're actually doing modifiers in story missions, which they haven't done since that. So, I mean, it's been 2.5 years since they've actually done these modifiers in story missions.
But it's not match made, so bring your buddies. Character light is 380 or don't. It doesn't matter. They're 380 light. You can run through them. It's Moon and Earth and Moon, which contains missions from the release of Destiny. Mars and Venus, which is also from the release of Destiny. Dark Champions, which is missions from the Dark Below and House of Wolves. The Taken War, obviously from the Taken King, and the Iron Lords, which is the missions from the Rise of Iron. You get Treasures of the Ages, which is one of the ones we've already talked about. 5 marks. 20 legendary marks 5 times, obviously. So you get 20 legendary marks.
25? I thought it was 10 5 times.
5 times. So it's 20 legendary marks it breaks down to. Materials, 5 times per week. Players will be rewarded with various planetary materials, consumables, or glimmer. It's back. And obviously they're gonna cushion the download with patches and updates throughout until it drops. That way it's not like, some people have to take 99 hours to download. Shout out to you, Dimitri. So that is what's coming up. Oh, next week is the fashion show or the sandbox updates. So be prepared to see all the new armor, because they did say that the Crucible will have new armor that you can buy or earn, whatever it is. Oh, and the Twilight Garrison can finally take a shader, so it's not ass ugly. You guys are welcome.
Yeah, no, right?
My favorite ones are always the fashion show, because you get to see all the new stuff coming.
Yeah,
but I don't think we're going to see any of the ornaments for the exotics. I don't think so. It'll be a little he surprise guys afterwards.
Yeah. I don't like. Yeah, other than the they've shown like a couple of pieces just in passing images, like one of them from Crota's. I think it was the Titan gear from Crota's End that has the floaty bits from the Oversoul on it on the shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm really excited. I'm super stoked on all this armor stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what they've learned in the 2.5 years that Destiny's been out, and apply that to these old armor sets and such, and the ornaments and things. Like, because I mean, the armor, you got to admit, has come like leaps and bounds away from like Vault of Glass.
Hell yeah.
I mean, a lot of people will say that it's their favorite, but when you go back and look, Vault of Glass armor was kind of basic.
Yeah.
It's not quite as ornate and like standoutish as whether you think it's ugly or not. Wrath of the Machine gear that stands out.
Yeah, you know where that's from.
Exactly.
Do we know if this gear is made by High Moon Studios yet? I would assume so, like, because that, like, the last time they did like an update like this with the Dawning, the more ornate gear, or Rise of Iron and the Dawning, the more ornate gear for like all the classes was done by High Moon.
I don't think there's any official word just yet, because I mean, last I heard there still wasn't an official word of what all High Moon's like involved in, which is very curious that they would actually get High Moon to help at all.
On the Reddit today, it shows High Moon Studios looking for game mission designers in collaboration with Destiny with Bungie on Destiny.
Yeah, they've actually, it's public knowledge that High Moon is helping Bungie in some capacity. Like I said, I haven't heard official word from anyone of what exactly they're working on. But like I said, it's curious that Activision is getting High Moon to help them, because I actually looked, and Bungie has I think for last year had a rough estimate of 750 employees working for them. High Moon has about 100.
Yeah. But I mean, that could be 100 people that take on a little bit of
Sure. I mean, High Moon is actually people that have helped the ports for Call of Duty games. I mean, they do have a lot of experience in working with things and a lot of things, and they're also responsible for the highly popular Deadpool video game. That was all them.
What was it? It shows the Reddit post itself says, last I saw they were heavy into creating weapons, gear, and such. I don't follow their work closely, so maybe they've done it already, but if not, it appears that they're moving beyond that now. Because it is mission designers and for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
That might
no mention of any PC.
That might be for D2.
It's possible, but I mean, there's really no telling at the time. If they're not capable of saying, I would myself speculate it's a D2 thing. But because, I mean, if it's something that's already happened, usually that's when, like, the muzzles and such get lifted and they're capable of saying, usually.
Yeah.
But considering there's still no word, like, officially, because, I mean, that's one thing about Destiny. There's always speculation and always people digging for information about this game. I mean, supposedly, before the game released, we had people supposedly breaking their muzzle orders and to tell, like, the original story of what people played, like, in group testing and crap.
I can't wait. I have to wait, so it's not like I have a choice, but I'm excited. I'm excited for it, just, cause to see my friends list grow again. It shrinks and then it grows, and then people get tired of it, so they bounce. So,
which I've got to say, like, the best thing about this, I mean, I'm just glad they're doing it. They're pretty much giving Destiny the send off that I was hoping they would give it, and just like you enjoyed it, here, just everything, just here you go. It's like, and it's definitely a chance for people to stay somewhat occupied, at least until like the next release. But at the same time, knowing the information, I can also see this kind of hindering population boom again, because at the same time, you're able to do everything, but guys at Bungie have pretty much already said, it's not really going to matter for D2. It's, I mean, your Guardian's looks are going to be able to carry over. That's all they've confirmed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which, they haven't even confirmed that all these emblems that the Age of Triumph is going to give you, these crap tons more emblems, are even going to carry over.
See, that intrigues me, because that would make me think that you'd be able to keep emblems.
I know, right?
Unless they change them in some way like, I don't even know. They could be a circle that's right next to your friggin' map.
Mm-hmm.
If the map even looks the same. Like,
Yeah.
Could be anything, really. We don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all speculation at this point, but you would assume shaders and emblems come with you, but they might say no. It's just your face.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it for emblems to come back because, like I said, Bungie is big on, giving you a thing that represents, like, hey, you've been with this game since this point in time.
Yeah.
For the beta testers, we've been able, the alpha guys, the beta guys, they've been able to carry over these emblems. It's like, hey, I was there for this. And I don't see why they wouldn't still do that.
Yeah.
I just want to keep my movie of the week emblem. I just want to keep that. I barely earned that, so like if I can keep that, Bungie, please. Bungie, please buff.
Are you saying that you earned that sort of like how writers on sketch shows win Emmys because they just wrote a sketch that was on the show for one season?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I was in that Duba video.
Yeah,
the armor wrap video, and he just told me what to do once. That's it.
That's legit. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we're gonna move on to the memory lane topic. If that's cool with you guys. Since there's 3 of us, we're gonna go 1 to 75. So, Dan, what's your number?
Let's go 20.
Des, what's your number?
53.
53. I'll go 13. Why not? It's 17. God damn it! Do you remember the first movie you cried at?
Yes.
Legitimately, no. Not like the first one.
Well, what's a movie? Okay, fine then. What's a movie that makes you cry? We're all men. Men can cry.
I mean,
God damn it.
I can say recently a movie that has actually taken me by surprise and actually legitimately had me shed tears in front of people, which isn't a thing I normally do. I mean, I'm not that kind of dude, but I do normally suppress a tear. I was able to hold back things when my wife made me watch The Notebook, which is a highly tragic
God, it's so bad.
So I mean, the fact that, like I said, that I kept my composure there, but I could not stop myself from shedding tears during The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
When he broke the back
the night that Gwen Stacy died was so well done in that movie that I just couldn't. I mean, I'm a comic book fan, so I already knew the importance. I mean, because even in Marvel Comics, that night was very important because that's when Marvel itself decided to take on the darker things and storylines like Iron Man's Demon in a Bottle, where he was overcoming alcoholism, just wouldn't be there. I mean, of course, that might have been a little before, but anywho, but it was that moment that Marvel started really becoming like a serious thing, not just like a kid's comic book, but telling like these really serious stories and really serious issues. And like I said, to see it done fairly well on the screen, it's just like I couldn't.
Des, you and I need to talk about comic books sometime. I feel like that could be a separate podcast in and of itself.
I'm a huge nerd.
Same here.
Dude, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after this podcast, another podcast?
Probably, yeah. That might be
right into recording another one.
That might be RngCAst news. Just spoilers here.
Okay. All right. I remember the first movie that ever made me cry was the movie Brother Bear in the theater. My sister took me and my brother to go see it, and we had been in an argument at the time. And so I just openly wept like a child at the end. And, yeah, man. It was, it's good times. I still can't watch that movie. Still can't watch it.
I have 2. One is more recent than the other one is just because I have a dog. But in Guardians of the Galaxy in the beginning, when Peter Quill's mom dies, I lose it every fucking time. And the other one is I Am Legend, when Will Smith chokes out his dog.
Yeah, that's very.
And everybody knows I have Bella, who is a German Shepherd, so I'm watching it. I'm like, I'll never do that to you. Come here.
You say come here like this, and she's just like, nah, man, I saw what just happened.
No,
I've seen how this movie goes, man.
I know how this scene ends, Buster. This is not happening right now. No.
It's like that's definitely a moment that almost got me too. I mean, like I've had many close calls, but I just can't pinpoint a first for me for some reason.
Man, I saw Logan. That was like,
oh man, that was tough.
Yeah, I was definitely misting up, but I looked over at my girlfriend and she just like all the way down.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, I haven't seen.
Not saying anything about it. Not saying anything about it.
I just want to say I am still actively mad about whoever they get to make the trailers for these comic book movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a subtle hint, and just whoever doesn't know by now, I mean, the trailers are spilling the entire news that the little girl that's with him is X-23.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like...
Well, it was Activision. Activision made the trailer for this.
There's the same issue I had with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer. They ruined the fact that, the night that Gwen Stacy died is in this movie.
Well, that's actually a tradition that I think movie trailers are going back to. If you look at them like really early on, like the Star Wars trailer, the original Star Wars trailer is just like, this is a Star Wars. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is Luke. He could be a Jedi. Also, old man Obi-Wan. This guy's a space wizard. Like they lay it all out on the line for you, and I don't know. I think we're kind of steering back into that trope with our media, where as we were growing up, it was all about the mystery of what could happen.
Yeah.
So,
which I mean, like I said, Marvel movies, like Marvel Studios movies, so far, I have not really been mad at their trailers because they give you just enough. Mm-hmm. Like the Civil War trailer. Well, Civil War did ruin the fact that, hey, Spider-Man's in this movie. Hey. So that's a bad example, but, like Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Only the real comic book fans would know. It's like, Bucky! But, because they didn't really give anything seriously away except how awesome the Winter Soldier was in that movie. Oh my god. That's still one of my favorite movies because, oh my god, the Captain America and Winter Soldier fight scenes.
Mm-hmm. Bonkers.
Another one is when Dumbledore died. Spoiler alert in Harry Potter. How everybody was just... And they just fired that wand off. It got me a little misty. I didn't cry, but I was like, God damn it. Ooh. I shook my hands out and I was like, you better bottle that shit up, Buster. You better bottle that shit up. You might have an alcohol problem later.
I'm going to need it.
Yeah. This is an emotion you don't need. Anger. Convert it into anger.
Go out and punch something already.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. So, this is where we would normally do revolutionary ideas, but I was lazy and I didn't put one up in the Discord or on Twitter. So, I
don't think we really have many.
I mean, Dash, you could do a quick look and see if anybody brought one up, but I doubt it.
I think we covered subcults. Yeah, quickly we'll race through the Age of Triumph is last on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
No, the only thing that was brought up to me was by Converse that was having issues. Like, what's your thoughts? Well, he has an issue with certain like things in gaming, like being. I think it's really hard to actually translate this into an idea to bring up for discussion, but making mention like introducing name or certain weapons Like, even though they may be bad or certain abilities or whatever, even though they may be bad, just introducing them like for the sake of being clever. It's like one of his examples was Anton's Rule, which is actually a reference to Chekhov's gun, which is a dramatic principle that if you have everything within the set that's mentioned needs to have a purpose. So if you have a gun in Act 1, then it needs to be fired by Act 2. So it is something that is irreplaceable. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Anton's Rule is kind of a lackluster sidearm in many opinions, because you can't really fire it fast enough to take full advantage of its rate of fire, and it's almost impossible, so it's not an irreplaceable gun. So the fact that Anton's Rule, by Anton's Rule, should actually be taken out, which is hilarious when you think about it, but like I said, some people actually find, as I'm finding out, some people may actually find that annoying, which is understandable. But it's like another one of the examples where the devil you know and the devil you don't. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know how active he was during that time, but that was just the fact that was different Fender guns. Which I thought was hilarious at the time because they were actually pallet swaps of one another. But of course, that was also during a time when any hand cannon was pretty much okay to use. So there was no such thing as a bad hand cannon back then, really.
Sort of like how Fabian strategy has a real life.
Yeah, meaning. I mean, things like that. But introducing, like I said, they introduced an entire like archetype of sidearms, and there's only like 2 in it. And the fact that one of them's Chekhov's gun, and the fact that no, it's not really irreplaceable. It's not even following Anton's Rule. So yeah.
And actually, the funny bit about Fabian strategy is it's a military strategy where pitched battles and frontal assaults are avoided in favor of wearing down your opponent through the war of attrition and indirection. It's like, it's a fucking auto rifle. That's not how you play auto rifles, people.
You're supposed to be in fact, the people at Bungie have said the design philosophy of a Titan is they're the guys that's breaking down the door and rushing in. I mean, their exclusive arsenal is an auto rifle and a shotgun, 2 very close range weapons.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's difficult to really bring up for discussion. And he brought it up like 2 weeks ago, and it's like, because like I said, it's a shooter. It's like nothing's going to follow, Chekhov's gun principle. There is no real irreplaceable. I mean, in a perfect meta, there's no such thing as an irreplaceable gun.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying this is a perfect meta at all, but still, I mean,
it's the most diverse meta, though.
It is. I mean, it legitimately is. And
I was saying last night on the Destiny Tracker podcast that so I have access to the Destiny 2 closed beta, and so they really managed to balance everything by removing all the guns and turning it into a fighter. It's been awesome, just like punching people right in the face, and that's it.
So it's basically a For Honor 2.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But, like with elements of Street Fighter. Actually, there's more pouches on your pants, and you don't put anything in them.
I'm just gonna love the reactions of people hearing that for a split second before they realize that you're just joking.
I know, for that like 30 seconds, they're gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, I saw your face, Des. I saw your face.
I was like, he doesn't have a closed beta access.
I'm sitting there like trying to follow it first, and it's like, no, that's not no. It's like,
so
yeah.
I mean, Converse and I had the conversation the other day that because everybody knows I use auto rifles and I get kills with auto rifles, and then he made the mention of imagine what would happen if you play with a more meta-friendly loadout, and I'm like, or I would die a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or it can actually be better if you actually use something that can kill effectively.
I mean, I kill plenty.
Yeah, you kill plenty, but you can actually kill plenty more if you play the meta. That's the point.
I have fun.
I mean, yeah, but it's also fun to win.
It depends on what you're going. It depends on what you're going for too, because like I've been using. I have this I cleaned out my vault, down from like completely full to at most 50 items in each category, and just went through and deleted the stuff that I'll never use, and like kept only the things that I thought I would need. I found like an antipodal hindsight from like probably April update. That is the most stable auto rifle I've ever used.
It is. I mean, that's like one of my favorite from that era.
Yeah,
it's antipodal.
It's antipodal. Yeah, it's so smooth. I call it Stable Babe. That's my nickname for it. And I've just been going into Crucible with that. It doesn't wreck, but I team shoot a lot. So that's basically what I use it for. I'm not necessarily going for kills. I'm trying to help my team get kills.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's an entire like different mindset as well. But and that's like at one point in time. It's funny. Converse. He actually had me. He actually asked me for an infamous 1v1, but at the same time, it was so he could get better with the first curse.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him no. Like in a 1v1 situation, the first curse is a disadvantage because we're talking about a hand cannon that has a full 1 second time to kill, as versus to anything I use, that's 0.7, 0.8.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's at a severe disadvantage. Like a 1v1 situation isn't where those guns like shine.
Mm-hmm.
However, in like sixes, you peg someone in the head with a first curse and like half their health is gone practically, which makes them an easy cleanup. Mm-hmm. So I mean, for a team shot situation, things like antipodal, the high impact stuff is going to be like just incredible to use because it's like I said, they're really good for burst damage, just not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not sustained.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, I'm not sure how that goes, but either way, like I said, but yeah, it's just like I said, different philosophies. Because I mean, like I said, I'm still actually trying to figure out what to use in my special slot, other than my wormwood.
No fusion rifle. Those.
Oh, I can still make a fusion rifle work, but it's just the way. I don't know. Like I'm waiting for like the age of like just the sandbox update that's coming for me to kind of really get back into PvP because I mean I've fallen back in love with hand cannons. That's I mean I've just fallen in place with them. I'm not as good with the PDX archetype as I was with a grasp archetype, but and I'm still where I was with the grasp just isn't there anymore because of its changes but I'm able to pull out like Palindrome, Lord High Fixer, I'm still Water Star for crying out loud. I'm still able to put in like amazing work with them, and it's just flowing right back in. Oh, what am I going to use? Oh, here's my wormwood for my secondary for close range when hand cannons are already pretty good for close range.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh man, I was playing a game of fours, and the Dads of Destiny had like a tournament, like an in tournament inside the clan, and like I was playing a 4v4, and one of the guys on my team was using Touch of Malice. Like, did anybody see that like Professor Broman satire video where he's like, "Guys, this is the new meta." Like, this kid was wrecking face.
Oh yeah, Munch was using it. When we were playing, Munch was using the Touch of Mouse, and it's fucking nasty.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, I think that was the real reason for the fact that, because, I mean, as a Titan, you'd be able to go in with a Touch of Malice, you could use Blessing, you could stay around your bubble, and you can basically take advantage of a Touch of Malice. And it took me a long time to actually think of that, but it wasn't the fact that it was the most effective strategy for Kingsfall, but it was just the fact that you had Titans taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you had the fastest firing scout rifle that was able to do more damage. It's like the Warlock scout rifle.
Talalak.
Talalak. It's like Talalak, but it's like always on almost.
Mm-hmm.
See, Dan, I'm gonna take the name Stable Babe. And now I'm gonna take that for my auto rifles because I have two that I would call Stable Babe. The Hakon's Hatchet from year 2, Iron Banner. The one with rangefinder, perfect balance, and counterbalance, and my Continental. If you don't have a Continental, I highly suggest grinding for one because the one I have has crowd control, brace frame, and counterbalance.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just gross. Just so gross. What is
try for a trials carry and get that auto rifle because that thing, oh my god, you're talking about smart drift control plus counterbalance possibility. I mean that thing can fire ungodly stable.
Who do I know that does trials carries? And it's Rusted Lands this week, so.
Well, let's see. There's always the late great Dark HK, and I don't know many from DTR streaming, but I do know
Pubin.
Pubin is actually really
last night.
Yeah, he's actually
and got this close.
Yeah, he's up there. I mean, he's not. I'm not being disrespectful. Not quite on the same skill tier as Dark, but at the same time, he doesn't.
He's pretty consistent.
I mean, he's consistent, but he's also not like. Because it's like one of his quotes, like in a stream, wasn't the fact that he's trials carry, he's more trials help. It's like he'll help you try and like because he'll actually sit there and like coach on like successful trials tactics and things like that. He's not guaranteeing that he's going to get you to the lighthouse. He's going to try to help you to get there, but it's like he does at least request put in some work.
Yeah,
like don't expect it to be an absolute carry.
Yeah, it's not you can go potato thumbs, but you have to help.
Right,
exactly.
He was given some great pointers last night. If like. It's not like it was by no means a carry, but like they were definitely putting in the work, like more work than I was, only because like I'm not as comfortable in that situation yet. Like this was only my second earnest attempt at trying to get to the lighthouse, but like I was learning so much from them. We did 3 cards, and I think we moved from like. We went up from 5 wins to 7 wins, and then that last card was 8 wins, but we didn't have the Mercy because it got spent on 5 on like the 5th round. So I don't know. It was tough, but I learned a lot and like feel like a more competent player because of some of the things that they were teaching.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, definitely not a bad DTR guys.
Yeah. Drink.
I've actually, since I checked my Twitter, I've been in contact with him because Jay mentioned to him, and then he messaged me, and we've been talking back and forth. But I mean, last week probably would have been the week I would want to go because it was Asylum, and this week is Rusted Lands. And as much as I say I hate Rusted Lands, I'm actually getting pretty used to it now. So it's a
very balanced map, actually. I mean, there's actually no legitimate complaints a person can really bring up to Rusted Lands because it has a lot of different, engagement spaces. It has a lot of variety for engagements.
Stay in your zone. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're more close person, there's plenty of areas to take advantage more. You can bait people into several closed-in areas. If sniping's more your thing, there's actually plenty of lanes that actually kind of intersect with these closed off areas too. So I mean, there's no like one really winning strategy. I mean, it's basically it can come down to the team that basically works together better is going to come out advantageous on that map. Effectively. I mean, especially since they got rid of a lot of the cheese zones because God, were there a few.
I was playing a couple days ago, and I was playing my bubble, obviously, and it was on Icarus. That's the exclusive map, right? And I was capturing B, and
that got awful map.
An enemy warlock popped his storms, right? So I said, "Fuck it, we're gonna go." So I dropped my bubble, and I'm ready. I have armor of light. I'm in, and I thought he was gonna come into my bubble. And I was going to hit him with a suppressor. I was ready for it. And the motherfucker saw me pop my bubble and went, nope. It turned. It went the other way. So I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So I just did my, sumo, and I just captured B. But we ended up winning. But it was so funny because I think I actually have the clip saved. I need to put it up on YouTube. YouTube.com. Look up Buster Knuckle. And it was so funny because I think I actually made that nope noise too because I saw him coming. I was like, yes, nope. I mean, it's funny now how people are just like, some people are like, I'm not going in there. That's just not going to happen. And then some people are like, that's a bubble. I'm in there. Let's go.
I'm one of those people. I'll charge into a bubble for...
Unless you're...
Candy.
Yeah.
Just candy.
Yeah,
Somebody offers gummy bears in here.
Yeah.
I mean,
frozen ones?
If I die, it's my fault because I'm challenging a bubble. If I kill you in your bubble, I'm emoting on your corpse.
Unless
you deserve it at that point in time.
Unless it's mayhem. If you see somebody coming into your bubble in mayhem, you should just assume they're going to use their super on you.
That's true.
Fuck it. I'll suppress myself. I'm suppressing everyone.
Yeah, especially if I'm running like Striker.
Oh, yeah.
I'm rushing
it's coming. You know it's coming.
Because, especially like Striker or Voidwalker, I saved my super for denial reasons, basically. Mm-hmm. I mean, as a hunter, I just pop. Well, I do blade dance and gunslinger, so I just pop whenever I can. So I'm trying to learn to pop whenever I can. But yeah, just pop and tap, and or stabby, whatever.
Slash.
Yeah. but yeah, like I was just like I said, Voidwalker and Striker's like, all right, I have a super. I'm gonna say, oh, there's a bubble. Hey, buddy.
But as a defender main, nothing is more excellent. There you go, Bill and Ted. Than to see a striker coming, you bounce that suppressor. They jump in the air and then they land, and there's no smash, and then they look confused for a second because in your head you can hear, whoop, and then keep it moving. But it's the only one you can't really do is the Nova Bomb because it can hit you from so far away.
Yeah.
It's a running lance. I mean, you can't throw a grenade that far. The motherfucker's in the air, and you're like, what is he doing?
Exactly.
There's no way that Nova Bomb hit me.
And it's like 9 times out of 10, if a Voidwalker is going to toss a Nova, they're going to be in the air anyway. And I'm sorry, no matter how good you are with a nade, like popping it like 30 feet in the air to where it explodes and suppresses them, it's like, can you say it's basically like that last shot in Billy Madison?
Yeah, it's
terrible. Got to ricochet it off this. It's got to hit over there. It's got to arc this specific way.
Mm.
Larry Bird and Michael Jordan talk about it in a McDonald's commercial, I heard.
You throw the grenade, and all you hear is boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And then it goes off, and you're like, clip it! PlayStation, clip it! So, there's a story that needs to be told. It's a work story, and it's not aggressive or angry like last week. There's no one stealing spots. It's just about a bird, but it's hilarious. I work in a freezer, as everyone knows, and there's a bird in the freezer, and this bird is straight roadrunnering my job. My job is spending money to get contractors to come in to put traps. And you might think a bird trap, you're like, what does a bird trap look like? It's easy. It's a cage. Okay?
Yep.
It's a fucking bird cage. And it's easy to think, okay, well, how's this going to work? They put bird seed in the cage, and they put like a little machine that makes bird noises. Now, you would think, okay, you're trying to catch a bird, you would put it in a very inconspicuous, out-of-the-way place where not many people are. Nope. They put this thing on top of the box that we pull our work from. So there's people there all day. I don't know if you knew about birds, but they're fucking skittish. Birds are real wiry. They're really... Oh, Jesus.
Except for seagulls.
Yeah, except for seagulls. Seagulls don't give a fuck.
Seagulls, oh my god, like seeing a pack of seagulls.
Mine?
Or a flock of seagulls.
Mine?
And I ran. Anyway, well, yeah, that's
But this bird started off very, very tiny, like a normal sized bird, but now it's really fat, and it's hilarious because it doesn't have like the fear of us in that environment. Like it knows who we are. So I'll be picking something, I'll look up, and it'll be sitting on it'll be sitting on the shelf eating a piece of cookie dough, just. And I'm like, yeah, we're totally good. You just enjoy that chocolate chip cookie dough. I'll talk to you later. And I'm driving away going, how the fuck is that thing eating cookie dough? But if
that bird ever gets trapped and released out into the wild, it's gonna show up to your house and just sit outside, just staring in.
You got some cookies?
Pecking at your window every once in a while.
You got some cookies, bro?
Tap, 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 tap. Hey,
I'll walk.
Remember me?
I walk out with some cookie dough. Just.
Yeah.
It pulls out a wormwood. All right, continue. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It just makes me laugh that they spent so much money trying to catch a bird, and the warehouse sounds like a fucking rainforest because of all the speakers. Because they put them in every environment, thinking the bird's just gonna leave, and I'm like, it's stuck in there. Like it probably has a nest in there and shit. Like, what are you doing, guys?
You know, you would think that of all the people in charge that somebody would have thought instead of calling contractors, maybe to call like, you know, animal wildlife or something, you know, call someone that can catch it rather than people that are just like, we're going to do this thing. It'll work.
The trap looks like, remember Mousetrap from back in the day? The game Mousetrap? That's what the fucking trap looks like. I'm like, it's got to go down a ramp and turn a corner, open a door, and then eat some birdseed. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? Just fucking let it live. It's okay. It's gonna be summer soon. Open the doors. It'll fly out. Fuck it.
This does remind me of one time I had a bird fly into my apartment. That was no bueno, and that was
we had a bad.
Because that's when you don't really think of birds as being violent.
Oh, they're fucking terrifying.
Until you actually think about, I'm going to have to wrap my hands around this thing, and bird beaks are hard.
Yeah.
So how do I get this thing out? I mean, we had like cut the lights off and left the porch light on, you know, the only light being leading outside, and we're just, oh my God.
I'm sending you guys a link to a story that this reminds me of.
Ermagerd.
Is it a bat story? Because I know somebody who had a bat in their house.
No, it's a story from McSweeney's that's titled, "Okay, Maybe Our Apartment is Too Small for a Bald Eagle" by Tom O'Donnell. It's
yeah, probably.
I'll send it to you.
So.
Yeah, I would.
I'll just post it in the general. How about that?
Yeah,
there we go.
Fine. Is this name Pazuzu? Like, I don't know, man. Like this, the bat story was hilarious because they didn't know that there was a bat in their house for like 2 days, and then they went to open the window, and when they pulled the blind up, the bat was just chilling in the window, like just chilling there. And I'm like, how didn't you notice there's a fucking bat in your house? and my buddy was like, dude, let me just tell you how I got this bat out of my house. And I'm like, I'm all ears. Please tell me. And he was like, well, it was in the window, and she spooked it, so it flew. And then she thought it was going to go into her hair, so she went under the table. I'm like, probably not the best place to go if there was a bat in your house. And I was like, so how'd you get out your house? He's like, I put on full goalie gear for hockey and just waved my hand doing boogie motions. And kind of like walked it into the porch and then shut the door, and it just left through the porch. I'm like, why'd you put on goalie pads? And he was like, I didn't want it to come at me. I'm like, it's a fucking bat, dude. It's more scared of you than you are of it. And he's like, I'm not going to risk it. I'm like, all right, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, Jim, when it comes to animals, I don't risk nothing, man.
No, fuck all that. There's an animal in my house that doesn't belong here. I'm getting rid of it. I don't care if it's a mouse or a beetle. Oh, man.
I don't know. I've actually kind of kept some spiders.
Yeah, spiders I understand because I hate mosquitoes. Yeah. I'll leave a spider in my house. It's fine.
That and like certain like area, like I've lived in not great areas, but not like slummish by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we had actually the same apartment. We had some issues with some spiders hanging around, and I always had upheld this basically honor code with spiders. It's like, you don't come at me, I don't kill you.
Mm-hmm. So
you keep your space, you keep your life.
So you walk up to it and you're like,
it's pretty much, as soon as it comes at me,
play your
I'll sit there and
life
stare at it.
spider.
like I said, I keep spiders just because I hate mosquitoes.
Yes,
I do. I hate.
Annoying,
oh my god, I hate them. Ugh.
I've been camping too much to trust mosquitoes.
I know. No, I don't camp. I just don't like them.
As a kid, you either camp or actually you don't have a choice when you're 8 years old.
True.
We're going camping. Okay.
Fuck. All right.
Hey, I got to use my BB gun. I was fine.
That's fine. All right.
Legitimately though, hilarious thing. One life decision came down. I almost joined the Boy Scouts, but they mentioned BB gun. So all of a sudden, right then and there, I wanted a BB gun. So my mom actually legitimately sat me down and was like, one of two things are going to happen. Either you're going to join the Boy Scouts or you're going to get a BB gun. Not both.
I'll take the BB gun.
I was proud owner of a brand new BB gun, and I never joined the Boy Scouts.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Yeah. Life skills that actually could have meant something.
Uh-huh.
Versus shooting cans and watching them bleed. Air quotes there. Because it was fun. That's how I spent my camping.
Yeah.
I'd waste half 12 packs just shooting them. Ping.
So we're gonna move on to the RNG topic. Dan, what's your number?
20 treated me well last time. Let's do it again.
We're rolling that 20 over. Des, what's your number?
Roll that 20.
42?
You're going 22?
42.
Oh, 42. I'm sorry. I thought you said 22. I was like, damn, Des is
Yeah.
overcutting by 2. I like it.
Yeah. The answer to everything?
Yeah. So long, and thanks for all the fish. I'm going to go with 61. And it's 11, so we're going to run that again. Good thing I didn't say 13. 23, so Dan, that's you.
Ah, okay. What was the last book you read, and did you enjoy it?
The very last book I read was one of Fred Saberhagen's, which is an author that's my recommended author, people that read, because Fred Saberhagen is a just incredible author. He had a very interesting history. The fact that he used to write science articles for the Encyclopedia Britannica. And he was really early into technology, former military guy. And in the 60s, it's hilarious because he got it, some of the first things he started writing short stories for was a science fiction series called the Berserker series. Which has also basically the first hints of what George Lucas might have ripped off for the Death Star. Were these planet-sized berserkers that could destroy planets, and was oddly very spherically shaped and the size of planets themselves. Yeah, when I read that back, and it's just like, wow, George Lucas completely ripped the Death Star off this guy. I mean, had to have, right? But he writes a wide, the last few books I read were from him, and like I said, he has a science fiction series. He has historical fiction centering around Dracula. Mm-hmm. And the first of that book is actually called The Dracula Tape, and it is literally Bram Stoker's Dracula from Dracula's perspective.
No, so it's how Van Helsing's a dick.
Exactly.
I love it.
Because what Fred Saberhagen actually did was he actually went back and he corrected plot holes that exist in Bram Stoker's Dracula. A lot of them, too. And I didn't really realize until I started reading the Dracula tape. It's like, oh, wow, completely right. It's like, why does Dracula die at the end of Bram Stoker's book by beheading him when every other vampire is killed with a stake to the heart?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a lot of things you don't think about because, it's Bram Stoker, so why question, the first author of Dracula? But he did, and he wrote an entire thing to it, and it made sense, and he actually continued the series. He was... One of his books, which was a collaborative between Dracula and Sherlock Holmes, was actually accepted into the official Sherlock Holmes canon by the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle Society.
Awesome.
And he has books. He has a fantasy set of books, The Swords, which is the first thing I read by him when I was in junior high, and it's a very interesting setting. Because it's like I said, it's your basic medieval setting, magical swords. It's demonic creatures. It's godlike beings, but it's actually in the far future. And you get these little bits of what they called old world magic, aka technology. Like in the Empire of the East book, you have this warlord that takes this very magical red cylinder to extinguish a fire, and sure enough, it's a fire extinguisher. So I mean, it's fantasy, but with, like I said, it's still futuristic, but it's things work really weird and different, and it's just an incredible read. To read, say, Empire of the East, Books of the Sword, Ardenay's Sword, which connects them both. And it's one of his quotes is whenever people asked him what they should start, from him to read, his question back then would always be, well, what do you like? Because he pretty much had a book covering whatever fancies you, science fiction, historical fiction, fantasy. I mean, he was just a guy that did a lot of things, and he just wrote so well. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I've read The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and yeah, it's it's a whole positive thinking kick that I've been on, and basically what it is he has a theory of resistance for artists, entrepreneurs, athletes, and all kinds of other people that people go through every day, and just how you can work through your particular type of resistance. And I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also read To Kill a Mockingbird, but that's one of my favorite books of all time. I can read that and just keep going. Yeah. Stephen Pressfield, fun fact, is the guy who wrote The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Ah, okay.
If you guys, know that. And, I mean, I had to, basically for the resistance, the way he makes it seem is that it's a universal theory of things the way they are. So, you might want to, because I'll use myself as an example. I work, I've been on this whole workout kick. My particular form of resistance would be if one day I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do this. That's my form of resistance, because that's the universe saying, no, you don't improve, stay that way, keep the way you are now. And the way I break through it is, I hear my alarm. By the way, it's always God damn it, Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers. That's my alarm. So I wake up to that and I'm like, I'm like, let's go, baby. Let's go. And actually, it's funny because this morning, my particular form of resistance was my girlfriend grabbing me and going, no, snuggles. 5 more minutes. And we all have wives or girlfriends.
Yes.
Yeah, good luck saying no to that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, how about this? I'll hit snooze once. That's 15 minutes. And she was like, that's 10 more minutes than I wanted. Okay. And I was like, I just laid there and, the snuggles, but it was so funny because it came on again. Midnight Rider came on again, and she was like, you got to run the key from HUD. And I'm like, and she gets so mad at me because I refuse to turn it off before the song ends. So I'll just walk through my house and be like, not gonna let him get me, no, not gonna let him catch the Midnight Rider. And I don't know, man. That would be another conversation we have later on in the podcast, because I just thought of another question.
Oh man, yeah. I've been rereading American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Focus Fire Chat is doing like a is doing a book discussion on that right now in their Discord server, and they'll be doing like an episode at the end of the month about it. But this is like my third or fourth time reading the book, and it amazes me every time. Like it hits all of my. It's the exact same reason I love Tom Waits. It's so distinctly American and cheap at the same time. Like you could see any of the characters in a late night diner drinking coffee and talking about their woes. It's so good. I love it.
Okay. That was a good one. I don't think we ever talked about books on this podcast before.
There you
Definitely
go.
not, because like I said, my favorite author of all time. Which I've talked to a couple people about him, but definitely not a here thing.
Yeah.
Who was it again?
Yeah,
Who was it again, Des? I'm gonna write it down so I can check him out.
Fred Saberhagen. That would be Saberhagen.
Okay.
And apparently has a semi-famous cousin in baseball or something.
I'm looking him up right now. His wiki.
Real quick, shout out to this book right here, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, like I said, he just has a crap ton of books because, like I said, his Berserker series are. I don't know, that's probably the easiest thing to get into because nothing's actually like really sequential in that series. It's more a collection of like short stories and like contained events within this like period, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like I said, the Dracula books kind of have an order that they follow. The book of like I said, Empire of the East and Ardennes Sword. Well, actually, he wrote Empire of the East and then his collection of sword books, which the books of swords are entirely like an entire story, and there's like 15 books in that series altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Because it started with 3 books, and then he wrote an individual book per sword. And then there was a collection of like short stories like from other authors, one of which was actually his son, I believe, that was included into it. And it's just, that's like some 13, 14 books in that series, but they're all just incredible reads.
That's cool.
And then he actually wrote Ardennes Sword, which connected the Empire of the East and his Book of Swords. And then there's actually his like these like god books that he wrote that have not been able to read before, but that's an entirely different series. Just he has books to read. I mean, he has a lot.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'll have to check him out. I work at a library, so of course I'm going to be the one that comes with a book question.
And it's hilarious because Fred Saber, like every library, of course, I don't live in, spoiler alert, I live in the South, so our libraries aren't incredible because we don't have it. Well, maybe the one at Birmingham. I've never actually been to Birmingham, and that's our largest city. So, but yeah, like local libraries, you look up Fred Saberhagen, you'll find like the book 3 of the Book of Swords and like maybe a Dracula book, and it's just like that. It's like, oh, all right.
I mean, another shout out obviously goes to the Songs of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin, obviously. And another one that I started reading and I need to find the other books are the Incarnations of Immortality series by Piers Anthony. They're super fantasy, and it basically is, the one I read was called On a Pale Horse. And it's about a photographer who tries to kill himself, and instead of killing himself, he kills death. So he has to become death. It basically is like the
like a Spectre situation.
Yeah, it's more like there's death time. I'm just looking this up now on the wiki. So there's 7 supernatural offices: death, time, fate, ward, nature, evil, and good, that people can become. There has to be that to keep the universe. So
embodiments of
the embodiments
that,
of those particular aspects. So it just it was an interesting read. I read it and I was like, okay. This guy killed himself, and all right, cool. This guy tried to kill himself and instead landed on top of death.
And much like the Marvel take on Galactus, which is why he cannot actually be killed. Mm-hmm. He is a linchpin of the universe, and if he were to be destroyed, who knows?
There'd be another.
Yeah, there has to be another anyway.
But Ben Richards becomes his master, though. Sorry.
I mean, he can be contained, but like I said, he cannot be destroyed. He cannot be actually ventured. It's like the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that one of the strongest mutants in the world is the son of the Stretchy and the Invisible Guy.
I know, right? It's like the kid that actually
Stretchy and the Invisible Guy.
I know, right? A kid that, like, literally as a kid created like a pocket universe
to protect
people's minds in
to protect his family.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, not just his family, just people in general from Onslaught, which was like, I mean, it's like for Marvel nerds, like Onslaught became like my big. I tend to like pull for villains and like really admire like super powerful villains. So something like Juggernaut was like a big deal for me because he could never actually, he always came back, and this is someone that he was mystically protected. And then here comes Onslaught, which is basically just Xavier having a bad day.
It's Xavier and Magneto.
Yeah, I mean,
it's exactly what
Xavier
it is.
Finally crumbling to decades of mutant racism, being touched with Magneto's mind whenever he actually had to like mind wipe him entirely. And all of a sudden, like I said, decades later, it manifests into Onslaught, the most powerful creature in existence that was able to literally pick up the Juggernaut, who at this point in time is like secret to his power, the Ruby of Sidorak. He actually embedded into his own chest, which is protected by an impenetrable force field that Onslaught just dug his fingers in and just plucked out. It's like, oh yeah, here's the key to your power. As Juggernaut is bleeding out in his hand. It's like, okay, yeah, this guy is serious. But yet, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman's son was what was needed to destroy him.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. Okay.
When I try to explain Onslaught to people, I try to use a Farscape metaphor of John Crichton with Scorpius in his head.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. But I mean, the kid's so powerful he couldn't control. He realized one night before going to bed that he couldn't control his power, so he aged himself so that his body could control his power. He went to bed in jammy jams and woke up a 25-year-old dude.
Hey, it's the movie Big all over again.
Yeah.
Have you guys read the Hickman run of Fantastic Four that came out probably like 2012?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh my God, there's such an awesome there's such an awesome stretch there where like Mr. Fantastic where Reed Richards joins the Council of Reeds, where it's the Reeds from every timeline, every multiverse, like getting together, like trying to fix everything. And like spoiler alert,
it doesn't.
He finds out that he's the only Reed that is like well adjusted enough to keep a family together. Like it's amazing. It's I think it was like 3 years worth of interconnected stories like that Jonathan Hickman did. It's amazing. It all culminates in like the Secret War that he wrote.
Yeah, that also reminds me of also like one of the last runs of the X-Men, which right after I forget what Marvel called it, when they started basically just doing musical chairs with artists and writers. Marvel Now, whenever they started that imprint, it's like I was really impressed with the X-Men that they had like sit canon where you basically have that's dying from a tertiary mutation. Poor guy. I mean, he mutates once, and mutates again, and grows blue fur, and then, like, probably in his 50s by now, he's going through another mutation, and his body's just not handling it. So he gets the bright idea of going back in the past. Now, it's also after.
It never helps. It only makes things worse.
He literally pulls the original X-Men into the future.
Jesus.
Which, of course, this is a future where Jean Grey is finally permadead. And she has to cope with past Jean Grey has to cope with the fact that future Jean Grey is dead.
God damn it, I die.
And then Cyclops has to deal with the fact that all of a sudden he's a mutant terrorist that's siding with Magneto. Because after being touched with the Phoenix Force, it ends up being Cyclops that, spoilers, but of course this was years ago, he ended up killing Xavier while under the effects of the Phoenix Force.
That series is one of my favorites.
Exactly. I read like a few. I got a few episodes and I read them, and it's just like it's just reading like the initial what the crap is going on. Like for those X-Men to be thrust into the future where everything is just like complete and total like 180 for them, it's just like, oh, all right. I mean, it was just really wicked.
Yeah.
Then you also have like the return of Gwen Stacy.
Spider-Gwen.
Really weird.
Spider-Gwen.
Because that was like one of Marvel's rules. It's like, it's like people always come back. Like people that die in Marvel always come back because they tried to kill off Xavier before.
Doesn't help.
In fact, that comic book that comic book title was Xavier's dead for real, and they ended up like just like Superman when Superman died.
I was say like they killed Soups.
Yeah. They end up like completely turning it on end. But that was like the ongoing rule of Marvel is no one stayed dead for good except Gwen Stacy. And then now it's like, oh hey, here's Spider-Gwen. Wait, what?
No one's safe.
Excuse me?
No one's safe.
And now everyone else is staying dead. Like, good God, it was almost a running gag on how many times Jean Grey came back.
Well, she's the host of the Phoenix Force. It's not going to let her die. It's the Phoenix Force.
But of course, then again, technically she's still not dead.
Nope.
Because even though she's dead, she's just actually in the White Room now. Yeah. So she's just basically incubating the Phoenix Force or something, or just keeping it about something. It's Marvel.
It's Marvel.
That's one thing about. I'm a Marvel fan, and I really got into collecting Marvel comics with the start of the Age of Apocalypse. Like the first comic book I remember buying was the foil back edition of the Age of Apocalypse Alpha.
So Cargo Pants and Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. But that, like I said, whenever they suspended like all their prints and did like Age of Apocalypse variants, that's when I like really got into and like buying and collecting myself. And but yeah, it's just. But the one thing I will always give props to DC for is the fact that they at least know their timeline, because Marvel, like longtime fans, will know. That Marvel works on a
it's Doctor Who. What are you talking about? There's no timeline. It's like fucking Beth from accounting. Where is she? Who's Carol from HR?
That's the thing, because in Tony Stark's history, he's been involved in. I think originally he was stuck in the Vietnam War. Then it retconned into like Desert Storm or whatever. Then it retconned into the current Iraq War.
Yeah.
Like I said, Marvel uses a sliding timeline. And they don't really like fully explain things. The only person that never like is affected by the sliding timeline is Captain America himself.
I thought it was Deadpool.
No. Well, I mean the fact that
because Deadpool talks to you. That's why.
But at least DC, like every time they have like a reboot or start over or whatever, it's actually a fresh timeline. Sure, that timeline actually still exists, and DC has no problem in like merging timelines and dimensions and alternate realities at all. Look at the, what was it, a War on Infinite Earths series of comics, where everything just started kind of.
I mean,
nah.
They have the new 52. They have Earth 1, 2, 176.
Well, yeah, but they have all these different timelines, but they're all still canon, and they all still exist. And every time they start new, like the previous is still there. It's just. They're telling a slightly different story now.
Yeah, it's just a different Earth, basically. Is how you
but Marvel, Marvel's like, oh, you thought he was in the, you thought it was Vietnam? No, he's still only 30 years old. The comic book character is like 60 years old or actually probably in the 80s by now.
I thought, what was it? There's some like metric where I heard them talk about like, I think it's every 13 years is 1 year in the life of like, the comic universe in the Marvel universe.
Probably
Like,
just
there's-
like real world science. They probably just add numbers to that just so it keeps making sense.
Yeah, so it's just like how much happened in one fucking year. Like,
I mean, legitimately.
yeah.
I mean, good lord, there's so many like stories, and that basically means like Tony Stark's entire like battle with alcoholism that took a year, and he's still basically battling. Oh yeah, that was only like 6 months. Wait, what?
It was it was one rough month, man. One
know,
really
right?
rough month.
Shitty one shitty 3-week period. Just shitty.
God damn. He just man.
Holy
was-
crap, man! But yeah, that's. I was never into like a lot of the DC guys because I mean, when your lead guy is Superman,
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't find him.
What
that
can you,
interesting. God,
what can you do? Yeah, when you have a fucking deity on your team, you really can't do much.
But it's basically super essentially because I mean, there's no way. I think someone said it best. There's really no way to relate to Superman, like
Can't.
at all. I mean, but the fact that the comics tend to base themselves on the fact that, the fact that Superman's an alien and he's basically just trying to fit in, and it's like, yeah, but this is a dude that could bench press a planet.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't do that. I mean,
it just depends on who's writing. It just depends on who's writing.
Depends on the time he lost all of his power, and then he got punched in the face by a normal dude, and it hurt, and he lost his fucking mind. He was like, "What the?" And then he got it. Then he got all of his powers back, plus the ability to hear radio signals, which is what you need if you're a fucking superhuman.
Oh man, people are going to be wigging out during this section. They're going to be like, "I thought I tuned Destiny."
Well, we're getting there right now.
I will say though, like
I
the
love this
best
so
line
much.
I ever heard any Superman writer ever was actually in Justice League Unlimited. When Superman was talking to Darkseid.
I've been holding back for all
His
these
speech.
years. That
The fact
speech.
that it's like I try to fit in, but it's like I have to treat the world like it's made out of cardboard, but I don't have to do that
Not
for
you.
do I? I can actually really let loose until you're nothing but a greasy gray smear of my fists, and it's like, oh.
Justice League Unlimited has some of the greatest lines ever. Lex Luthor became president. He said, "I spent $90 million on a fake presidential campaign just to piss Superman off."
I mean, it's like the DC animated universe's writers are just
So good.
oh god, it's incredible. The fact that they tied together Batman Beyond into like the overarching DC like animated lore is just great.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk about that later. We're just going to put a pin right in this. We're going to give you guys a sneak peek. We're going to move on to the Clan Wars, which Dan so graciously clued me into. Destiny Clan Wars. And last week's battle was Prison of Elders, and surprise, surprise, we got the RNG Revolution got second place with like 5 people competing. And, I mean, it was Prison of Elders, so it was super fun. I love going back there. And be solar burn with grenade kills. You play your warlock and just throw grenades, and that's how you win.
Mm-hmm.
And the RngCAst news: T-shirts are coming.
Ooh.
There's talks of a Patreon in the works, and Dan just kind of clued me in here on when and if we make a Patreon. Obviously one of the special rewards will be a additional podcast, and what better than an RngCAst Nerd Edition?
Awesome. That sounds great.
That sounds fun. And we have a Discord. I'll post a link on the Twitter, so if you guys aren't a member of our Discord, go get in there. It's a great time. We have fun. So, Dan, how was your week in Destiny?
It was pretty good. I've been trying to go through and finish up a lot of the things that I know are going to be in the book beforehand. Also trying to just wrangle up all the last bits of grimoire that I don't have. And turns out patrols, one of the things I didn't do when I got a PS4, and so I'm trying to do those more. But yeah, it's been, I don't know, my perma-Destiny character is up to level 22 now, which is the highest I've gotten one, and the 4v4 tournament in DoD went very well. We won our match, and yeah, just everything's great. I'm still having a lot of fun in Destiny. We'll get back into Horizon Zero Dawn, but
Dan, you said you needed something called patrols? I mean...
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean,
there's these things.
Do you know a guy who loves doing patrols? I mean, I don't know one. I can't put my finger on him. I
thought I knew one or two.
I mean,
but certainly nobody here.
No,
certainly nobody here.
Absolutely not the patrol master.
No, nobody here.
Not the Grandmaster General at all. I mean,
man. No.
Blister Lister 113 on PlayStation. I mean,
oh man.
It would really
if only
it would really suck if the phone went off with a friend request from Danfinity.
Oh my. Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It would be something.
Well,
yeah.
We'll have to see.
I am in physical pain right now.
Oh, why is that? Why is that?
Oh, this entire bit is just...
I can see your face.
And the fact that none of us care, Dan. The fact that we just kept drilling it was the best part. So, Des, I wish it was your week in Destiny, but you probably haven't played Destiny in like 3 weeks.
I have played a little. I got my boxes.
Oh,
So, yeah, it goes to show you there, because I said last week I got my boxes. Listen to me, man.
You play 3... What do you play, a match? A match to get your one box?
Match, play strike.
A strike, yeah.
I keep myself from getting too rusty, because like I said, I'm kind of spacing away. Like I said, one particular thing, the spreadsheet is done for now, so that's one thing that I've kept trying to finish, and like this kind of lull keep me occupied. So that's done, at least for now, at least for another couple weeks. Yeah, like I said, keeping things from getting too overdone, basically. Been giving Destiny a proper arm's length for the time being. I still, if I see people on, I'll still pop in with them. I still have nothing bad to say. I still have things I can do. It's just not things I want to overdo.
You're just giving it a respite.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just giving it a breathe. I mean, like I said, I'm still at least, like I said, playing to get the boxes, because, I mean, sure, like once the Age of Triumph comes out, like most things I'm hunting for is going to be Silver Dust capable from these current boxes. So, I mean, there's not really a lot of point for it, but like I said, it gives me something to do. It still gives me a reason to pop in, at least for a little bit, and like I said, to keep me from going completely dumb-thumbed.
I still need the White Witch. That's the only ornament I need is White Witch, and that's the best looking one for the
it is
the Red Death. The Steel Witch is just like it's steel. All right, cool. The White Witch, you just hear, I'm a White Witch. That's what you hear. That's what you hear like in my head, because I watch American Horror Story. I just think of that one scene. Stevie Nicks is a White Witch. Like, okay, all right, calm down. Calm down, hippie. Come on,
she was a one-winged dove.
But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I'm just giving it a proper breath for now.
Cool.
Still getting salted, and I'm still not getting that one freaking sparrow. I forget the name of it. It's the one that actually has the multicolor, pixelated look.
The prism one, the prismatic one.
Yeah, that fills out as you go faster. It's like, I want that. I really want that.
I mean,
but no box is giving me that.
Well, the new box will. So.
Like I said, I might actually be able to buy it flat out for Silver Dust, possibly.
Oh, yeah. True.
Like I said, they didn't really go into a lot of detail on that, but I mean,
it seems like that economy is growing, and I think it's because they understand that nobody in their right mind, knowing that none of this is going to go past Destiny 1, is going to spend money on one of the boxes from Eververse.
Oh yeah, legit. I still have like some 200 freaking Silver Dust.
This is the one you're thinking of, the EV-44 Firefly?
No.
No?
No, that's not it. I think I have that one, possibly.
Okay.
You can
That's like Prismatica, maybe.
him. You can check that on him in your vendor selection.
Okay. I mean, I've been, doing the, obviously I did the Prisoner a lot this week. I got a Queen's Choice, which I've been using a lot because it's fun. And working on the Buster Knuckle account. I think I'm at 343 light now.
Mm-hmm.
So, doing that. And, I mean, it's fun having that account that I'm trying to get up to 400 light because now every week Xur matters.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh shit, the Glass House and the Telesto. Well,
yeah, no, right.
Hello, pretty girl. Thank you for joining me and bringing my light level up super high. I appreciate it.
Like I said, that's one thing I keep trying to tell people. It's like that are saying Xur's useless. It's like it's basically just a matter of perspective because Xur's doing what Xur's always done.
Bringing stuff, taking strange coins, bringing stuff. And Scully has made her own account now, and her and I sometimes we get our baby Titans together and we play it out. So it's, I mean, I want to have the Buster Knuckle for Destiny 2, which is what's going to happen in September. I'm going to switch my PlayStation Plus over to that name, so that way I, can be the Buster Knuckle and not Blister Lister 113 for Destiny 2. Just carry that. That way I'm Buster Knuckle on everything, as opposed to Blister Lister on PlayStation and Buster Knuckle for everything else.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it. I had fun. Played a couple of control matches. Got my stuff done. All in all, just a fun time. I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky because they added cars to No Man's Sky, and it's so fun because the car is literally invincible. I was ripping around my planet and I took a wrong turn, fell off a cliff, landed in the ocean. I was like, I'm dead, and it was like, no, you're okay. Drive under the ocean. I'm like, how is this possible? I can jump out of the car and it's like, oh, well now you have an air meter, and I'm like, all right. And the thing can climb up a fucking cliff, like a mountain. I'm like, this is like the horse from Skyrim. I'm so good now. It's fun.
It's like anything from Elder Scrolls. Come on.
Pretty much, yeah. It's that jump spell that launches you in the air and drops you and you're dead unless you have a ring.
Good God.
Oh man.
It's like need to climb up a mountain in Elder Scrolls.
Jump.
Well, with a horse, you could just go straight up it. No horse, serpentine.
Yeah. Don't do what Rickon Stark didn't do. Do what Rickon Stark didn't do. Serpentine.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for when like my perma-Destiny character can finally meet Xur. Actually, I don't know if I can via the rule type that I'm in, because I can't. I don't think I can, because like I'm not buying anything from any of the vendors with any of the cash.
Oh, it's just drops
to up my light. Yeah, it's just drops. But Xur's bringing like those coils.
Yeah.
So collectors purchase those if you've got everything, because you're gonna.
That's a lot of like freaking holy crap.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you actually look into the Sparrow kiosk, I mean, every Sparrow that can be upgraded has its own little entry, and that's what a dozen at least Sparrows that can be upgraded, and those engine upgrades are not cheap.
Oh yeah. Grind up. Give you a reason to grind up those
good
coins.
Rank up packages. I mean.
Yeah.
So. All right. So I had a few topics jump into my head during this podcast, so I wrote them down. Get hype songs. Like how I said mine's Midnight Rider when I wake up. I have a couple that get me, jacked up.
Mine's actually quite hilarious, because a lot of people that know me know my Get Hype song, and is one of the oddest things ever. But I am like a fan of a particular cover band that call themselves Power Glove, and they are a metal band that does cover music for video games. So, of course, the name is very fitting.
Yeah.
And they actually did an entire album called Saturday Morning Apocalypse, which was popular late 80s, early 90s-ish, like cartoons. Basically, a lot of stuff that I grew up with as well. They did covers for The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest theme song, which is an amazing metal cover of that song. They actually did a metal cover of the Winnie the Pooh theme song, which sounds drastically different than what you would imagine. And my Get Hype song, which is Gotta Catch 'Em All, which is a metal cover to the Pokemon theme song.
It's amazing.
And
are you going to be whatever was?
Yes, because that's actually when I actually need to get my head in the game for a Crucible match, I will put that on. And it will at least, it will like put me back on path, and it's hilarious because, like I said, it's a very metal cover, and it's actually because they don't this doesn't have a vocalist, and they don't normally do vocals, but they actually had a vocalist come in, and in a very Freddie Mercury style, would sing the actual lyrics to the theme song, and it is like the most amazing thing ever.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Do they have a song called Power, Wisdom, and Courage?
Yes, that Zelda medley. Yeah. Yeah, it's from their Total Ponage album. And it is like a 5-minute ballad of various Zelda music, and it is like glorious. One of my favorite ones is also their Power Rangers theme song cover.
You said Power Rangers and she barked. This dog knows me so well. And I just saw it on their playlist.
The best thing that they have, though, is their cover of the X-Men 90s cartoon song.
I was going to bring that up.
Yes.
That one?
Like, they do that so well.
I just found out yesterday the guy who wrote the Power Rangers theme song wrote the X-Men theme song.
Wouldn't that?
Yeah.
Because they're both very 90s sounds.
Yeah, man.
It's like you cannot confuse that for any other era of music.
No.
Like, it is like 90s, like metal grunge, like era type stuff. When things needed to be it needed that hard sound.
The singer for that the Gotta Catch 'Em All was Tony Keiko.
Yeah.
And he does sound like Freddie Mercury a little bit.
Oh, I mean, that's like his inspiration, like for that particular style was like Freddie Mercury. It's glorious to listen to, and like that like gets me hyped. It's like people that play Crucible with me enough will hear me actually singing that.
It's funny when my son was a baby. All kids start off as babies, and he was crying, and he was just crying all night. And my ex-wife, she didn't know. Like, she was like, "There's nothing. I fed him. I changed him. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do." I'm like, "I got this one." And I walked into his room, and I'm like, "What are you gonna do, Buster? You said you got this one." So I'm like, "All right, buddy." So I pick him up, I hold him, I rock him, I walk around the house, everything, and he's still going. And I just start singing Pokemon to him, the theme song, and he shuts up and goes to sleep.
Nice.
And but the problem was I got too into it, and I was like, "You teach me, and I'll teach you," and I was like, "Pokemon," and he woke up, and I was like, "Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon."
Oops.
And it was just so funny that she heard me and she was like, "Are you singing Pokemon to our son?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am," and he's asleep. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's Power Glove is some of my hype music, and otherwise, and like I said, a lot of people that actually know me also know that I don't listen to mainstream music anymore. I use a site called Overclock Remix, because they do a lot of it's an entire site that's basically about the remixing and publishing of video game music of just all kinds.
Pocketful of Nickels.
Pocketful of Nickels is amazing. Also,
it was this far. It was this close to being our theme for the podcast. Fun little fact.
Yes, I did bring that up. It's like we need a theme. It's like it's always Pocketful of Nickels. I mean, but So, I mean, but they have like all types of music from like jazz fusion to dubstep, EDMs, punk rock, ska, all kinds of stuff. But it's all done by like a collection of artists that choose to like do this music. And like I said, all free, or 98% of it is free. They do have some commercial albums done on like the OCR, like an actual record label. Most of the albums they come out with are free, and it's video game music, and I find myself like drawn towards Final Fantasy music, like old Sonic music, just like the Mega Man music. Oh, some of the Mega Man remixes are amazing. Oh my god! But yes, so that's like, and like most of my like videos I'll put together, like wannabe montages and crap, will use like songs from OC Remix, because they actually have a section in their fact. It's like, as long as you're not making money off of it, and you credit it properly in a specific way, go ahead and use it. It's like, all right, cool. It's like royalty-free music. Okay.
I just sent you and Buster a playlist of about 300 songs that is my hype music right now.
Oh god.
That's a lot.
Just put it on shuffle and enjoy yourself. I will say, like, so there's this band that I found recently called Fart Barf. They're from LA. They have a song called The Mission at Hand, which is amazing. It's like if shit. What's the name of the Disco Robots? The Disco Robots.
Daft Punk?
Daft Punk. It's like it's like if I enjoyed Daft Punk.
It's like if I enjoyed
Daft Punk.
Hey, wait, what's wrong with Daft Punk?
I've got so many things, but listen to Fart Barf. Yeah. Fart Barf is better than Daft Punk. Holy shit.
I can't with these band names. My theory is people select band names by putting random words on the wall and then throwing states of darts, and whatever happens, they just put those words together.
Hey, Power Glove is fitting.
The Power Glove,
dude.
I mean, I understand some bands.
That's fitting.
But like,
and there's also a band called, I think it. Actually, there's a bunch of like video game cover music. So there's like the Megas, which like, see, there's the Megas. I know there's the Megas, but then there's the Proto Men. And I'm actually wanting to say it's the Proto Men that actually do like these. They turn Mega Man music into like these epic like rockers. So I mean, they like, it's Mega Man music from specific Mega Man games, but they tell like their entire own story of like, what if Mega Man was from this like post-apocalyptic, very like just cyberpunk, just dark world future type deal.
And another artist that gets me hype, man, Daddy Fat Snaps. I don't know what it is.
Oh yeah,
just like his most recent stuff, man, has got me real hype. And little behind the scenes, talking to Game Boy Jones. He'll be coming on to talk some stuff with us.
It's and the fact that his content is actually like really, one thing I really loved, like his Eminem cover. The fact that he matched the pacing for that song just bit for bit was amazing. But B, what was it? His like Real Rapper Tryout bit song, that was hilarious because it did not actually make video game references.
Shit. Well, last thing, I've got to use the restroom like nobody's biz. I love you guys so much, and thank you for having me here.
No problem.
There's this guy. His name's Open Mike Eagle. He's got a song called "The Dark Comedy Late Show." That's like lyrically amazing. You have to check it out. He also like is part of a podcast that talks about Adventure Time. If you can't tell, I've already made a couple references to Adventure Time. I really like it. I dig it.
I love Adventure Time. Go ahead and go to the bathroom, man. Come back and give us your plugs. Right. I know you guys.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Oh my god, I love you guys.
My final question was, who's some of your favorite villains? Because you and I like villains more than I like heroes, to be honest.
I know, right? I mean, in the movie theaters, me and my brother are always the ones that, we always felt a pang of sadness when we saw the Death Star blow up. Because, I mean, Imperial's a power. But, Oh my god! Like I said, one of my most favorite villains is like one of the most overpowered villains in Marvel history because he actually has a rap sheet.
Dr. Doom has a fucking sheet.
I mean, he has like one of the most impressive rap sheets in Marvel history. He's killed superheroes. He's actually shown killing people. He's like the Deathstroke of Marvel, basically.
He also took over a whole country.
He took over a country.
This is mine now.
He went back into the past, took over the world, got bored, came back to the present. It's like, wait, what? I mean, he's had a lot of which I think I've stated before, like my main issue with the Fantastic Four reboot movie.
Mm-hmm. They drastically nerfed him.
Well, they made him like powerful, rightfully so. But it's like to take care of him, spoiler alert, but they basically take care of it with a glorified Care Bear stare. Mm-hmm. Oh, friendship is magic and we can win. No, actually, because Dr. Doom is capable of trouncing everything. I don't know, because like I said, for some reason, DC, I don't really pull for the villains so much because a lot of them don't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, Marvel, Dr. Doom is up there. Onslaught is definitely up there, and Apocalypse. Basically, these beings capable of somehow Galactus is obviously going to make changes wherever he goes. But aside from that, you have people like Apocalypse and Onslaught that literally have changed things. But I've got to say, villain or not, like one of my favorite characters is actually Legion.
Oh yeah,
which has recently had a series on FX start.
Oh my god. Aubrey Plaza. Oh my god.
And it's
she hits Buster where it needs to be, right in the neck.
But like Legion has always been like has been a character I've always been interested in, which it was, I guess, can go any way because literally. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're talking about a psychic that's power changes depending upon what personality is in charge. Mm-hmm. It's like in classic times, he had a personality called Cindy, who was a pyrokinetic. I mean, a telepath, like as powerful as his father, at least. Like every personality practically, and has freaking, like, when they started rewriting for Marvel now, they actually like take you in mind into like the prison cell, or the jail, the prison basically that he runs to keep these personalities in check. And there's just dozens of personality, each one with their own psychic capability.
It's a mental hospital, but yeah, it's a jail.
Oh no, and like I said, in the comics, it's a straight up prison. Okay. It's a straight up prison in the comics. But yeah.
Are we going over favorite villains?
That's
sorry.
Yes, yeah. I was going to bring you into it. I didn't want to jump in and be like, hold on, Des. Yeah, favorite villains.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So Marvel's just full of them because, like I said, for some reason like Magneto. Mm-hmm. How can you actually not appreciate him as a person, basically, for going the route he went after he's already survived the horrors of the Holocaust?
Yeah.
I mean, what he does makes perfect sense, basically. Yeah. And it's hard to like.
We can understand. You can give Magneto. I mean, Magneto's a dick. He's also a Holocaust survivor, so it's like.
Yeah. I know. I mean, when you start talking about like segregation and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, he's seen that before, and it didn't go. No. Are you really going to blame him for taking his power and going, no, this isn't happening? I'm going to take my people to a freaking asteroid in space and call it Avalon for reasons.
Man, there's this one character, like, he quickly became my favorite, like, supervillain in Thor. He's called Gore the God Butcher. He's Jason Aaron wrote him in. I want to say it was around Marvel Now. There's like 3 full trade paperbacks that involve him. Yeah, and he's just such a sympathetic villain because basically what he's done, the Thor God of Thunder run, were 3 different timelines being told at the same time. So you had young Thor who didn't have his hammer yet. He wasn't worthy. He's got his axe, and he's like doing deeds on Earth. You have current Thor, who's like investigating like the disappearance of some of the Asgardians, and then you have, or like the death and disappearance of some Asgardians, and then you have Old Man Thor in the far-flung future on an Earth that is completely eviscerated, like desolate of life, and he's the king of that world. But the God Butcher storyline, and it still has repercussions today, is amazing. Like, because it's this character that's ascetic. His mother died, and he prayed to these gods to save his mother, and like was told that as long as he was faithful, they would take care of him and take care of her. And shit goes sideways, and he just has this vendetta, and then is given the power given the power accidentally to wreak his vengeance. And it's amazing. It's astounding. Just some of the scenes in that, because he'll go, like, Thor goes to like the halls of like these old gods that haven't been thought of yet, and just they're desolated. They're decimated.
I just read his wife, who was pregnant with his son, got swallowed by the earth from an earthquake, and then his other son starved as he was trying to console him. His woman held the all black is the necroblade, and it's attached to his fucking arm. His Raziel. That's what I need.
Yeah, dude, read that storyline. It's fucking awesome. I probably got some like details wrong, but like, dude,
no, you
from when I read that,
from what I read,
yeah, that's one thing. Like I said, like DC's like always had like heroes, like very relatable ish, like, you know, to really put yourselves in the mind. But it's like I said, Marvel's like really strong point is villains for some reason, like
except for in the movies.
No.
I still have an issue with X-Men Last Stand for making the Juggernaut a mutant.
He's not
a huge deal, but
he's mystical
for a nerd.
He's magic.
Yeah, he's pure magic, and he's no kind of mutant. Even in any series, if they try not to get into the magic side, like X-Men Evolution actually had him as an enhanced. They classified him as a mutant only because his powers were mutant-like. But they did say his source of his powers were not mutation.
He was an enhanced human, I think is what they classified himself as.
It was something like that, but I can't remember what. But I mean, you just have, and it's sad though. Like it's not really that. There's just so many things that Marvel has taken so many bits and pieces, science fiction, fantasy, and just put them all in this melting pot that it can be hard to replicate in a movie like universe. But of course, now that they're trying, especially with Doctor Strange,
there's gonna be more magic, which
full
is
magic.
dope.
All there's gonna be a crap ton more.
Good.
Yeah,
like I said, hopefully Blade comes back. Hopefully, you know, Night Stalkers and crap like that get a shot.
Constantine,
because that's just.
You know they're gonna reboot Matrix. Side note, did you read that? They're gonna reboot Matrix.
Yeah,
I just want to put that out there. What the fuck?
Oh man. Ugh. I love this.
You know, there's actually a bunch of theories that make the Matrix make a whole lot more sense, just from like, because I think I've told people I'm like, I watched this YouTube channel called Game Theorists, and they basically take video game, like they have some very out there like theories revolving around like video games, and they also have some revolving around like movies and such, but it's like they usually have controversial theories, like how Mario is a sociopath and how Princess Peach is evil, and yeah, but it all makes sense because they all use like in-universe evidence to like for theories. But they actually did a series on the Matrix on their Film Theorist channel that, like I said, it makes things like in a whole different light that I wasn't even like really looking at. But
oh man,
it's like there's a bit of homework for you to go search out those theories, because they said if you enjoyed any of the Matrixes, and I love the first one, the second one was okay. Things got a little silly in the third one, But at the same time, like these theories, like I said, brought things to a light. It's like, oh, it kind of makes more sense.
I'm gonna because I know Dan has a wedding he has to get ready for. Joker for DC. I mean, obviously, The Killing Joke was a great series. A lot of people gave it problems, but it was great. The run when Bruce Wayne found out that he was basically the boogeyman, that there was always Joker, that he was like the persona. He was the man basically.
If I could, Batman Beyond taught us that too.
Yeah, exactly. He came back. In the TV, I mean, I like Scorpius. Obviously, I've mentioned before in this podcast, this episode, Scorpius was a great villain for anime because I'm more of an anime than a comic book nerd. Orochimaru, Don Quixote Doflamingo from One Piece, and
Orochimaru is a punk.
Oh, please, and a lot of people don't read JoJo's Adventures, but I love it. Dio,
he's a puppet to Madara. Deal with it.
Everybody's a puppet to Madara, so let's just be honest.
That's true. I mean, legit.
Let's just be honest. I could have said Madara as my favorite villain, but the snake.
Kind of I
mean, the guy goes, "Oh, you want to fight me?" Asteroid. He pulls an asteroid to Earth.
Or this person you thought was dead for decades.
Nope.
Deal with these guys.
You see, what happened was I was dead. I had somebody use a technique to bring me back from the dead in a puppet form. In a dead body puppet form, and then we reversed. I had the ability to reverse it, so I took his living essence and gave him my dead essence. Huh?
But yeah, Madara is like legitimately the Superman of like Naruto universe. He had powers just made up on just to, it's like, this thing happened. So
the hero and the anti-hero literally had to go, we need help, and then they had to literally take on the aspects of
the originator of ninjutsu.
Yeah, pretty much. The sun and the moon aspect of him to even work together. They had to work together to do that.
After being enemies for like decade or years.
I would say rivals. I would say rivals.
Well, rivals, true. Well, Sasuke wanted him dead, legitimately, but Naruto, yeah.
Still, the best part of that movie was when when they're on the airship. And Sasuke's like, I'm out, and he falls backwards, and then you look at Naruto looking down at him, mouthing something, and you don't understand what he says until you see Sasuke like doing the Chidori into the water, trying to make it perfect. He was like, "What did he say to you?" And then you go to his perspective, and you see that Naruto says, "I will absolutely, positively bring you back." Like that kid's the greatest knucklehead warrior. Like if you don't like Naruto, there's something wrong with you as a person inside your soul. Oh, and Shinobu Shisui from Show.
Shinobu's another one of those, like, oh my god, what the crap.
His mind broke because he watched. Dan, I don't know if you have a lot of anime experience. Probably not, right?
I've watched One Punch Man recently.
Okay.
Shinobu, that and Cowboy Bebop. So.
Shinobu Shisui was a guy who's a spirit detective, so basically he could interact with the spirit world. He was the first. Mm-hmm. Well, the one before the main character.
His job was to fight demons to protect humanity.
So he saw what they called the
black tape, the black chapter,
chapter black.
Yeah, chapter black,
and it was all the atrocities that humanity has ever done on a videotape, and he watched it. Yeah. And in doing so, his mind broke. He made a personality.
Like, why am I protecting these people?
He made personalities. But he made personalities, and he was sort of like Legion. Each personality had a different ability because he was that strong.
One of them was a woman that loved a man.
Yep. And the crazy thing was, when he died, spoiler alert, he gets killed. He went to heaven because...
years old.
Because, he went to heaven because his original soul was pure. Whenever he did anything bad, he switched his personality over.
Oh, he switched his soul over?
And he was like, as he died, he was like, at least I'm going to heaven. And the dude was like, what do you mean? And then they explained it like that, but it was probably one of the best power-ups, too. The atavism of the Mazaku. Look that up. The atavism of the Mazaku. It's one of the greatest transformations and, like, biggest ass-kickings I've ever seen. So.
Okay, sounds good. Is it on Hulu?
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Maybe.
Doubt it. Might be on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Hold on.
Because it was kind of... It wasn't as huge. It came out around the same time as like Dragon Ball, so it kind of got outshadowed by Dragon Ball, like in the Toonami lineup. But it was still really good.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out.
That's like one of those early basic like animes. Like, you get into Dragon Ball, or at least have one. You get into Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho was done by
Cowboy Bebop.
The artist of Hunter x Hunter, which is on Toonami now.
Yeah.
I sent you a link,
Cowboy
Dan.
Bebop was one.
Okay,
Outlaw Star.
Mm-hmm. So
Awesome. Oh, man.
I think that this nerd talk brings the 44th episode to a close. Dan, why don't you give everybody your plugs where they can find you, that, and the other.
You can find me on my Twitch page, twitch.tv/Danfinity. You can find me on Destiny Tracker's Twitch page, twitch.tv/DestinyTrack. I'm there on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. On my personal channel, if you follow me there, you can enter to. We hit 300 followers last Friday,
Nice.
and for the next week, you'll be able to enter 3 months of either Xbox Gold or PlayStation Plus.
Nice.
So you can do that there, only if you follow. And I'm on at Danfinitwitch. See what I did there? And other than that, just I love this podcast, man. Thanks for having me on again.
No problem, man.
No problem.
You're going to be coming once a month, like the period of positivity, as you called yourself.
I'm an oppressive. My positivity is oppressive.
Mm-hmm.
I do what I can, and yeah.
All right, Des.
That's all I can do to balance out. But this is your boy Raven. You can find me on Twitter at DES_Raven. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheCorvusNest, where hopefully I'll be starting to stream some stuff. You can search me on YouTube, Death Switch Raven, in which I am currently uploading my Final Fantasy 15 second playthrough. It's taken me a while to upload because I'm playing and uploading a chapter at a time, so we're talking like 45 minutes to an hour and a half worth of gameplay, like in an episode at a time. So that's taking me some time to get around to. Not only the editing isn't that bad, but uploading it to YouTube.
It's painful.
Upload an hour and a half of video to YouTube, and it's just like,
Yeah.
It's like drinking cement.
Yeah.
Brew some tea. Go watch a show. You'll be fine.
Raise a chicken from egg to
take a nap.
full
Yeah.
chickenhood.
Yeah, that only takes what, like
A couple months.
8
hours,
years?
4
8
hours.
years?
What? A chicken from egg to adulthood? I thought like a year.
Well, I mean,
chickens mature
I don't
quick.
know, man. I mean, I grew up on a farm. I just wasn't paying attention. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, right? You don't pay attention to these things. They just happen.
And I'm Buster Knuckle. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Buster_Knuckle. On YouTube at YouTube. Look up Buster Knuckle. And on on Twitter at Buster Knuckle 13. You can find this podcast, the RngCAst, on Twitter at the RngCAst, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/the RngCAst, and on YouTube at the RngCAst podcast, which is, we need to really work on trying to get the RngCAst from whoever has. I don't think
we can't.
We can't.
I mean, there's like 3 different variations of RngCast on
Is
YouTube.
there? Motherfucker.
Yeah. We're at RngCast podcast. I mean, but do sorry.
You can find us. You know where we are. And you can send us an email to therngcast@gmail.com. And, we love hearing from you guys. Dan, thanks for being on. You're once a month time. You're always welcome.
Absolutely.
Totally
Absolutely.
fun.
Thank you so much.
You have my PS now. I sent you a friend request. So
yeah, we're gonna become quick friends, Buster.
Yeah.
We're gonna become quick friends.
Absolutely. So this is the RngCast. We're out.
Later, man.
Rich Moore was not a bitch, Des.
He was.
No, he wasn't.
He was a punk.
RngCAst is a member of the Destiny Tracker Podcast Network. If you like us, you should check out the other podcasts in the network. If you like lore, the Destiny Lorecast and Rabbit Hole Radio is for you. If you're like Raven and weapon stats are your thing, check out Destiny Massive Breakdowns and the Destiny Track Podcast. If accents get your fire going, check out the Destiny Down Under podcast, and that sure will scratch that itch. But always remember, we here at the RngCAst love you all. Thanks for listening.